What's up, guys? A very good morning. Today's market outlook is going to be a fast one because I need to go to school, but it's going to be at least around 35 minutes or 30 minutes. So grab you a snack, of course, a healthy snack, and sit back and, of course, learn from this analysis. So let's start with the yen basket. The yen basket, I was looking for this weekly supply to get tapped, but we grabbed liquidity above the high and moved down lower. And now we broke the daily fractal and are in this supply. And if you look at the 4 hour, you can see that we are reacting from that 50% zone from this leg down, and then we can move down lower. So now we created this new supply zone over here, right? And this could just push price down lower, or we could at least trade up higher inside this supply zone and from there trade down lower, or we could even just move up with order flow and just trade in towards that weekly supply like I was explaining. But for now, I am looking for a tap inside this demand zone and take out these liquidity lows like this. Then going over to the DXY, I see some upside. If you look at the daily, we have this daily supply open. I think we now tapped inside this daily supply, so we could also get a reaction to the downside, but I think that we will just continue up higher inside that supply zone, and from that supply zone I will look for shorts for the DXY. And let me try this like this with this liquidity over here, and I think that we then from this supply zone can just follow the order flow and continue down lower, right? So going over to Euro NZD, kind of the same as yesterday, because yesterday there was a bank holiday, meaning that price wasn't actually moving that much. So this market outlook is kind of going to be the same. But once again, as you can see, we are reacting from that 25 fib. So we could retrace back in towards that 75 fib, and from there we could move lower in towards those discount prices, what I'm still looking out for, right? From this swing leg. So I have my alert on the supply zone, and then once my alert get hit, I will look for shorts. So Euro USD, because the DXY should go down this week, like once we tap inside that supply zone, so like boom boom. On Euro USD is the reverse, so we should expect something like boom boom. So after grabbing this liquidity and tapping inside this demand, we could expect the order flow to be in control, and then we could push up higher in towards this swing high at least, and then again maybe in the long term to this big weekly or daily supply. So I also got my alert on this demand zone, and I will keep you guys updated once we have confirmation and we could trade up higher. Euro yen, I was looking for longs actually after grabbing this liquidity, because the yen basket is down, like I said. So this is what I'm expecting. So I was expecting a little bit upside on the yen basket. If you go over to the 50-minute, you can see that after grabbing this liquidity and after we came in towards this discount level of this move up, boom boom, then we could maybe expect some move up. So I was then looking at the 1 hour fractal break, which happened over here. 1 hour fractal break, it was at night, so we couldn't get an entry then, but now I'm possibly looking at maybe something like this. But then again, to the weekly open or this liquidity over here, this would be clean. But yeah, it's not the best kind of trade, because you can see that we have bearish order flow. We respect the supply zones at all time, So now price could just push down lower. So I might be looking for shorts after going over that weekly high or weekly open, and then I will look for further shorts in line with the trend, right? Boom, boom. So going over Euro GBP, like I said, I was looking for price to head in towards this low, but we missed connection with the supply, so I couldn't get any entry. I was just waiting for this step. So I'm also going to remove my my alert, and I think price is just gonna go and continue down. And next week I'm gonna look for longs from this yearly open, boom and boom, and then this might be my target, this supply zone. Going over Euro Swiss, it's kind of in a ranging, but I want to see the range high swipe and tap inside this supply zone, and then I will look for shorts because the fundamentals and euro is very weak, right? And when the euro is weak, we expect downside on the euro pairs. So euro CAD, kind of not interested for me. We are now like respecting that yearly open, and it's pushing price down lower. And you also have this bad low. Why is this a bad low? We trade in towards this liquidity, and then we trade up higher. So there's no early buyers swiped. So I want to see this, then I want to see a swipe, and then I want to see upside. So I'm also not going to short because we are swing bullish. So that's why I'm staying out of this one. Euro AUD, I'm still looking for this liquidity to get grabbed. Why is that? First of all, let's see at the swing. We are swing bullish, but we still need to make a move in towards that discount prices, right? This blue line over here. And we also have liquidity over here and an open demand zone. So this is going to be my target. Now you can see that we respected this supply zone, grabbed some liquidity, and now I was looking for this liquidity to get taken out and then look for confirmation to then short in towards the demand zone. So if you go over to the 1 hour, you can also see that that liquidity that I was pointing out were all liquidity highs, and over here we have an open supply zone. So I think that price could head in towards that supply zone, and from there could just fall off further. So going over to GBP-USD, we just grabbed liquidity above these highs and broke the swing, so we could expect a move in towards this demand zone, right? And there's also some liquidity laying above that demand zone. I think we tapped in towards the demand zone. Yes, we already tapped in towards the demand zone, but this is so small that this could be internal liquidity, and I'm still expecting some pullback to the downside. So yeah, scaling into the 1 hour, you can see that we swiped early sellers over here, right? And then we made a nice high. So this is a yes. And where is our 1 hour fractal? Our 1 hour fractal is over here. So I'm either waiting for this 1 hour fractal to go, and then I will look for shorts in towards that demand zone, right? This liquidity low over here, or I will wait for a high swipe, then a fractal break, because this then becomes your fractal, and then I will look for shorts in towards that liquidity low. So I'm also looking for shorts because the DXY should just trade a little bit up higher in towards that supply zone. Now going over to GBP-NZD, we are now pushing inside this supply, and after we see some confirmation on the lower time frame, maybe after grabbing this liquidity, then I will maybe look for some shorts in towards the downside, because we are 1 hour bearish, so we could continue down lower, and we grab liquidity above this high, and now we have bearish order flow. Now if I look at the daily, you can also see that we are inside this supply zone, but then keep in mind that we already like this is our swing structure, and we broke the swing, and then we already tapped inside the discount prices over here, so we could also just trade up higher. And then I can also see now that we have some liquidity above these highs, so shorting might not be the best opportunity. So let me look at the 1 hour to see if we can catch a small short. Like after grabbing this liquidity, what we did at the moment, and then we have this supply zone over here, right? And this could maybe push price a little bit lower before moving up higher. This is your demand zone, and then you have liquidity over here, right? So after seeing like a really nice high being formed inside the supply, then I will look for confirmation, a double fractal break. Why a double fractal break? Because we could possibly like trade up higher, and after a 1 hour fractal break it could be a seller's trap, but I will show that in a minute. But this is then what I'm looking for. But price could also give a seller trap. Why is yeah, and it looks like this. So you create a nice high, you get a fractal break, and then we just trade up higher. So a lot of stop losses get hit. So because we got that fractal break, sellers step into the market, and then we just trade up higher, right? So that's why I will wait for double confirmation in order to short. Then going over to GBP yen, I was looking at this long yesterday. Over here, this would have been your entry, this black candle, and then trade into that weekly open, but I didn't take it because there was no clear demand over here, but we just grabbed that liquidity. Now yeah, going over to the 4 hour, we can also see that we are 4 hour fractal bullish. Here we were fractal bearish, and now today we are fractal bullish. So we now created a demand zone over here, and looking at the daily, yeah, at the daily I think we still need to trade in towards this liquidity high. So that's also what I'm looking for. And now that we are 4 hour fractal bullish, or let me check. Yeah, now that we are 4 hour fractal bullish, I think that we can tap in towards this demand and then trade up higher, at least this monthly open. But yeah, looking for that daily liquidity to get grabbed. So if I look at the 1 hour, I'm looking for a clear demand zone, and we have it over here. This is our demand zone, and then we have this liquidity laying above the demand zone. So I'm going to put my alert on top of here, right? And then I will look for something like this. So going over to GBP Swiss, we now grab liquidity above this high like expected, and now we could move down lower. So going to the 1 hour, you can see we grab liquidity, then we grab liquidity above these highs, right? And then this is our 1 hour fractal low still. So yeah, I'm still waiting for either this low to go and then look for shorts in towards that monthly open, or I'm just looking for this fractal high. Oh, this is getting a bit messy now, but I'm looking for this fractal high, maybe to get swiped, and then I will look for confirmation to the downside. So I'm waiting for a 1 hour fractal break, and then if that happens, I will look for shorts to this no and this monthly open. And then I can see that we also have this demand zone over here where I would want to trade in towards. The reason that this is a no is because we tap in towards the demand and then we trade up higher, meaning there are no early buyers getting swiped. So after getting your first step, you would want to see a second step and then trade up higher. So that's why I'm also looking for this node to go. Going over to GBP-CAD, we now grab this liquidity. So I was looking for shorts possibly, but then again we still have that yearly and monthly open, so I'm just going to wait for that to get hit, and from there I will look for further shorts like this. Boom, boom. Going over to GBP AUD, we now got a reaction from this supply zone, so we could just trade down lower, because once again I'm looking for this demand zone before trading up higher in towards that monthly open. But now we are for our fractal bullish, or let me see, we are not for our fractal bullish. Why? Because this candle should be for our fractal high, right? But this candle is dead cap, and once again dead cap is a fake price action. If you want the explanation, it's somewhere inside my other market outlooks, and otherwise comment down below and I will make sure that I will explain it next time. So we now have this supply zone also, which could push price down lower and take at least these lows, and then you can see that we also have these lows, and I can trade in towards this demand zone, and from there I will look for confirmation to trade up higher. So going over to AUD USD, we now got a 4-hour fractal break, so we are inside this supply zone. But as you can see on the 1 hour maybe, you can see that we have lots of liquidity above these highs, so we could take them out. And if we take those liquidity highs out, then we could also take these highs out, right? So after grabbing those liquidity highs, then I will look for lower time frame confirmation to trade inside this demand. Okay, now going over AUD and NZD, I was looking for shorts from this supply, but this night we just rammed through it. So at the moment I am now just waiting for further development, and possibly looking for this liquidity to get taken out, and then I will look for shorts like this. The guys were saying like, oh, we already took that out. No, once again, this is a rollover candle, so it's a fake candle and price didn't yet took out this liquidity. And then I think we can trade after grabbing that liquidity and then getting some confirmation, then I think we can trade to the yearly open. But going over to AUD yen, you can see that we are kind of in a range, and let me remove a bit because it's a bit messy, right? So we are swing bearish, so we could trade down lower, but we still have this supply open and this liquidity, so we could also just trade up higher. We are now inside this supply zone, which is in control, right? So I think price, I need to see an order flow change, so trading above these highs, and then I will like to go long. But of course the probability that we just continue up higher is high, so I'm just waiting for further development on this pair. But maybe look at tomorrow's outlook to see if there is something of or has happened, so I can tell you in the next outlook. Looking at the monthly open, you can AUD CAD, we are swing bullish, so we need to trade up higher for me to trade in towards this 4-hour swing. But if you look at the daily, we now tapped inside this supply zone, which also took out liquidity, so we could also trade down lower. You can also see that we are having some liquidity formed under these lows, so I'm looking to grab that, and from there we could either trade up higher because we created this demand zone, or we could just respect this supply zone and then trade in towards that yearly level. But I'm at least expecting some downside in towards this demand. We already came in towards this demand zone over here, and we grabbed liquidity, so for now we could just trade up higher, but there's no possibilities for me to go long, because once again, where do you want to take a trade? Over here you want to go long because you just broke swing structure, and over here you just broke swing structure, so you want to go short. And then over here, because you are swing bullish, you want to go long. So this and this are the possible trades inside this range, right? Now we are over here, so I'm not looking at any trade. I'm waiting for either a pullback and take out this liquidity, and then I will look for longs, or I will wait for the swing high to get broken, and then I will look for possible shorts. So going over AUD Swiss, we now grabbed liquidity above these highs, and after we break the 4-hour fractal, which is this 4-hour low, then we are now inside this supply zone. Then this new supply zone will be created, right? Like this, boom, boom, boom. And then I will look for shorts in towards the discount prices and the monthly open and this open demand zone. So going over to the 1 hour, I'm going to see what price really did. So we now grabbed this liquidity over here, and now this is our low, and then I would like to see something like my stop loss about this high. Then I will trade lower, maybe this low, like right, this liquidity low over here, this low, and then I would trade a 1 to 3 risk to reward, like this. This would be my trade then. So we get a fractal break on a 4 hour, then a pullback, and then we can trade down lower. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking at for AUD Swiss. But then going over NZD USD, you can see that we are kind of starting a pullback, but I'm just waiting for this liquidity to go, and then I will look for further longs in line with the DXY, right? Because the DXY, like I said, should push up higher and then down, and NZD USD should push down and then up. So this is exactly what I'm looking at. NZD Yen, I was looking for longs yesterday. We are still inside this 4-hour demand zone. So let me explain why I am looking for longs. We have two daily fractal breaks. We are now inside this daily demand, which could push price higher inside this daily liquidity above this high and this monthly open. So we could trade in towards that. So going over to the 4 hour, you can very clearly see that liquidity laying with this monthly open, and we are 4 hour fractal, and this is our fractal low. So now grab liquidity above these lows, and now I'm looking for confirmation in order to go long. So let me see, we grab liquidity over here. And I think that we now also came in towards this demand zone. And let me look at a 15-minute how this looks. Yes, so this candle, guys, this is a fake candle. As you can see, this is a rollover, and it is the same candle as this candle. So actually this demand zone has never been tapped before, only now. So now I'm waiting for a second tap to swipe the early buyers, which are buying over here. I will swipe them, then I will wait for a 1 hour fractal break, and then I will trade up higher in towards at least these liquidity highs with this weekly open, or we could just trade up higher in towards that monthly open. So I'm going to put my alert, and then I will look for A plus longs in my opinion. NZD Swiss, I had my limit like this on this weekly liquidity over here. So my entry on top of that weekly liquidity, my stop loss above a safe high, which took out liquidity, and then I will target the monthly open with this liquidity lows. But price just dumped down lower, and I was looking for something like this. But for now, I'm not looking at any longs, or possibly after we grab this liquidity, then I would like to see 4 hour fractal, and then we could trade up higher towards that weekly liquidity. Okay, so that's also what I'm looking at. Going to set my alert for this one. Then going over to NZD CAD, we still have liquidity above the highs, so I might be looking for possible longs in towards that supply zone, but then again we are swing bearish and could just trade down lower. So let me see what daily is doing. Yeah, no, we are definitely going to push up higher. As you can see, we still have that daily liquidity, this daily supply zone, and we are inside this daily demand, which could push price up higher. So now I'm looking for confirmation in order to go long. So I'd like to see a 4 hour fractal break happen, or just a nice low 2 being formed. So swipe this low, then a fractal break, and then I would like to go long inside, yeah, that daily supply, which I showed you on the daily time frame, of course. So going over USD yen, I'm looking for this demand zone to get tapped and take out these liquidity lows, and then I will look for some shorts, for some longs. So exactly like these arrows are explaining. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. USD Swiss, we now tapped inside this 4 hour supply zone, so we could just continue down lower, right? But again, I'm not going to short over here, because also we could also get something like this and then into the downside. So that's why I'm just going to leave this pair for the moment. USD CAD, I'm waiting for a tap inside this supply, this yearly open, and this liquidity, and then I will look for some shorts. But for now, nothing interesting, because yeah, we're also not inside any clear demand zone. We have liquidity under all those lows, so it could just drop down lower. So that's why I'm waiting for this supply zone to get tapped. CAD yen, looking for a tap inside this demand zone, and then I will look for some short longs if we get some confirmation, right? Going over CAD Swiss, like expected yesterday, we tapped in towards this supply zone, and now we could just trade down low to take this liquidity and trade in towards that yearly open. So looking at the 1 hour, I might be looking for an entry, but then I can see that we still have liquidity open, which I would want to see go first, and then some confirmation, and then I would like to see some downside. Okay, so this could also mean that these are early sellers stepping into the market. Now from this weekly open, we could trade up higher and take that liquidity and take those stop losses above this high, and then after confirmation, you know that we can trade down lower in towards these liquidity lows. Now we have Swiss yen, didn't tap yet in towards this 4 hour demand zone, so I'm going to put an alert on this, and then I will wait for further development once we tap in towards this demand zone, and then I will look for longs in towards these liquidity highs and this monthly open. So going over to gold, still looking at the same, because I'm expecting that 3000 level to get hit in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I would like to see these buyers go before we trade in towards that 3000 level. Going over to silver, like expected yesterday, we are trading up higher from this demand zone. So going over to the 1 hour, we have a double 1 hour fractal break, as you can see over here, or at least a double internal boss, because the real fractal is over here. Fractal low broken, fractal low broken, fractal high, fractal high, fractal high. Okay, but now you can see that we kind of have this, so you have a double internal boss, and now you can see that we have also liquidity laying under these lows, right? So I might wait for that to get swiped and then some development to trade up higher, but I do not like this low because yeah, this is our first step and silver is not my best pair, so I'm just going to wait for the A plus setup to occur and wait for this low to go, and then I will look for longs. Going over to US oil, I was looking at this long yesterday on top of this liquidity and this good low that takes out this liquidity, but that didn't happen. So now yeah, price is kind of inside this supply zone, so we could trade down lower once again, but as you can see, we took liquidity, so we could trade up higher. But then I would like to see, yeah, this order flow getting broken and then a tap in towards this demand zone, and then I would like to see some upside, and the fundamentals need to be in line also. So Bitcoin has been consolidating to the downside at the moment. Yeah, I'm waiting for this low to go, and then I will look for some possible small longs just to trade in towards that weekly open, so something like this. So that's what I'm waiting for. Ethereum, we are creating some liquidity over here, so we could also take that out. But yeah, as I explained in previous market outlooks, this low is still open and we didn't take it out yet. So in the long term, I'm waiting for this, and then I will invest in long-term longs. But for now, I'm not trying to short in towards that low. So I'm just waiting for this low to go, which is obviously going to take some time. XRP is now coming in towards this demand zone, and then from here I think we could just trade up higher. So yeah, I'm looking for longs from this demand zone, right? Yeah, Solana, we now grabbed liquidity above all these lows, right? This low, so we could expect some upside, right? But if you look at the weekly, so we now grab liquidity and we could get a reaction into this supply zone, right? This refined supply zone. And yeah, once we get confirmation on the 4 hour, I will look for longs to this supply zone, but then I will wait for this liquidity to go for in the long term, and then I will look for, yeah, just long-term longs on Solana. Okay, Sui, kind of the same, just looking for this liquidity to go and then long-term investments. Dutch, yeah, waiting for a deeper retracement inside this demand, because I really want to see some FOMO getting created before going in towards these long-term longs. Okay, Pepe, yeah, you could see that we are consolidating at the moment. After we swipe this low, then I would like to see some longs to trade to the high of this range. Okay, going over, yeah, Andy is nothing special. But yeah, that was it, guys. I hope you guys liked it. It was a real, yeah, it was a little bit of a fast one today because I have to go to school right now. But I hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next one. Ciao.